Dr. Krenzal Thal of the Vrenthal species had seen many curiosities during his distinguished medical career across the stars. His kind, towering beings with translucent skin and bioluminescent organs were revered as some of the most advanced medical practitioners in the galaxy. Vrenthal medical techniques were unrivaled, blending science with a unique mastery of biological energy manipulation, a skill that rendered them indispensable in the galaxy's medical crises. Yet today, for the first time in centuries, Dr. Thal felt his patience stretched thin. "Humans," he muttered, letting the word roll off his tongue like it was some distasteful secretion. His assistant, a hover drone named Elnix, chirped in agreement, its luminescent lens rotating in mock sympathy. They were aboard the Strathos medical cruiser, docked in orbit above Earth as part of the Galactic Coalition's outreach program. A dozen species had sent their brightest minds to study human biology, a species new to interstellar contact but already stirring both curiosity and skepticism. Dr. Thal had been less than impressed. "Their circulatory system is a network of inefficient tubes," he scoffed during the preliminary examination. "Their respiratory system, an organ with tiny sacs that somehow balances oxygen exchange, is laughably fragile. And don't get me started on their nutrient absorption system. They waste more energy digesting than they gain." "Primitive indeed," Elnix replied, its synthesized voice dripping with polite condescension. But the patient lying before him now was the pinnacle of this so-called primitive biology. A human woman named Lieutenant Commander Arya Dane of Earth's fledgling space fleet. She was sprawled on the examination table, her breathing steady but visibly annoyed by the examination process. Her auburn hair was tied back in a tight bun, and her hazel eyes darted between Dr. Thal and Elnix with growing impatience. "You're enjoying this, aren't you?" she said with a sharp edge in her voice. "Enjoying?" Thal tilted his elongated head, his facial tendrils flickering in confusion. "Hardly. This is a tedious task, Commander. Your biology is elementary at best. I am simply fulfilling my obligations." "Elementary, huh?" Arya smirked, though her annoyance was palpable. "Last time I checked, we haven't died out yet. Something's working." Dr. Thal ignored her, focusing instead on his hollow console. He poked at a 3D representation of her internal anatomy, magnifying her heart. The inefficiency of it made his tendrils twitch. "Yes, but your kind's survival is likely due to luck and rapid procreation rather than any inherent biological superiority. You're a species that has stumbled forward on sheer tenacity, not ingenuity." "Wow, thanks for the pep talk, Doc," Arya shot back. "You must be a hit at parties." Before Thal could respond, a sharp beep from the console interrupted the exchange. The preliminary scans were complete, and the results began streaming across the screen. Elnix tilted toward the console, its lens focusing intently. "Scan complete," Elnix reported. "No anomalies detected. However, notable levels of cortisol and adrenaline are present, consistent with heightened stress or irritation." "Imagine that," Arya said, her voice thick with sarcasm. Dr. Thal dismissed the comment and turned his attention to a more thorough analysis. "Let us proceed with the detailed cellular scans. Perhaps your primitive body harbors a few surprises after all, though I doubt it." As the scans continued, Thal decided to test the limits of her tolerance. "Tell me, Commander Dane," he said with a dry hum, "how does it feel to know your species is one of the least evolved sentients in the galaxy?" Arya's smirk turned into a full grin. "How does it feel to know that your ego is writing checks your tentacles can't cash?" Elnix emitted a soft chime that sounded suspiciously like suppressed laughter. Dr. Thal's tendrils stiffened. "Ego has nothing to do with it. I am merely stating facts. Now, if you would cease your distractions." But before he could finish, the console emitted a deep, resonant chime. Thal froze mid-sentence. His luminous organs dimmed slightly, a Vrenthal's version of a furrowed brow. He scanned the data again, his fingers twitching as his tendrils curled inward in what might have been surprise. "Impossible," he whispered. "What's impossible?" Arya asked, her amusement giving way to concern. Dr. Thal didn't respond immediately. Instead, he activated a second layer of scanning protocols. The holoconsole's display shifted, layering complex biological data with glowing overlays of cellular structures. Elnix hovered closer, its lens zooming in on the unexpected readings. "Dr. Thal?" Arya prompted, her tone sharper now. "What's going on?" Thal straightened, his bioluminescent organs pulsing brighter than before. "There is an irregularity in your cellular structure. Something I have not encountered before." "Define irregularity," Arya said, her voice tinged with alarm. Elnix chimed in. Preliminary analysis indicates anomalous patterns in mitochondrial activity. Unusually high energy output relative to the cellular baseline. In simpler terms? Arya asked. Dr. Thal hesitated before answering, an unusual display of uncertainty for a Vrenthal. Your cells are producing energy at levels far beyond what is considered normal for a human, or any known species for that matter. The patterns suggest an adaptive process, one that defies conventional biological principles. Arya frowned. Is that bad? Bad. Thal echoed, his tendrils twitching with agitation. Bad would imply that this is something I can understand, which I do not. Your biology is not merely inefficient, it is chaotic. And yet, this anomaly suggests that your cells are compensating for that chaos in ways that should be impossible. Elnix added, this may warrant further investigation. No kidding, Arya muttered. But let's start with a translation. Am I dying? Thal shook his head, though his glowing organs dimmed again. No, you are not dying. Quite the opposite. Your cellular activity suggests an extraordinary level of resilience, perhaps even a form of accelerated adaptation. Arya's eyes narrowed. So, not so primitive after all, huh? Thal ignored the jab, though his silence spoke volumes. For the first time in his career, he found himself unable to dismiss a human as biologically inferior. And it made his tendrils itch with discomfort. Lieutenant Commander Dane, he said finally, his voice losing some of its earlier arrogance, we will need to conduct additional tests. This anomaly may have broader implications than I initially anticipated. Arya leaned back on the examination table, her smirk returning. Take your time, document. I'd hate to rush your ego's adjustment to reality. Thal didn't respond. His attention was already on the hollow console, where the data continued to pour in, each new reading more baffling than the last. For the first time in centuries, Dr. Krenzal Thal felt something he hadn't experienced in a long time: doubt. The medical bay aboard the Strathos was a gleaming temple of precision and advanced technology, with diagnostic systems that could map the DNA of a living being down to its quantum signatures. The sterile air hummed with the faint vibrations of instruments, and the soft glow of holographic displays gave the space an almost ethereal quality. Yet, to Dr. Thal, the serene atmosphere was anything but calming. He was restless, pacing back and forth as the hollow console continued analyzing Arya Dane's anomalous biology. The new readings defied centuries of Vrenthal medical knowledge. Mitochondrial energy levels weren't just elevated, they were off the charts. Her cells were producing energy with an efficiency that should have incinerated them from within. But instead of showing signs of damage, they were thriving. Fascinating, Thal muttered, his voice tinged with both awe and irritation. Arya watched him with her arms crossed, reclining on the examination table like she had all the time in the universe. Fascinating is usually code for, I have no idea what's going on. That about right, Doc? Dr. Thal stopped pacing and turned toward her, his tendrils twitching with agitation. I would choose my words carefully, Commander Dane. I am not accustomed to encountering mysteries I cannot solve, but I assure you I will solve this. Arya shrugged. Hey, you're the one who called me primitive, remember? Not my fault your fancy Vrenthal brain can't keep up. Elnix, still hovering nearby, emitted a software that sounded suspiciously like a snicker. Commander Dane's statement is not entirely inaccurate, Doctor. Thal shot the drone a sharp glare, but before he could retort, the hollow console chimed again. A new set of data scrolled across the display and Thal froze. His bioluminescent organs flared briefly, a clear sign of heightened emotion. What now? Arya asked, sitting up straighter. Your immune system, Thal said, his voice barely above a whisper. It's adapting. Adapting to what? Everything, Thal replied, his glowing organs dimming in confusion. Your immune cells are reacting to simulated pathogens at an unprecedented rate. Viruses, bacteria, even synthetic toxins, all neutralized within seconds. This level of adaptability is unheard of. Sounds like a good thing to me, Arya said. It should be impossible, Thal snapped, his frustration boiling over. Adaptation on this scale requires evolutionary timescales, not mere moments. And yet, your cells are behaving as though they possess some predictive capability, as if they know how to respond before encountering a threat. Arya raised an eyebrow. So you're saying my body can see the future? That's creepy. It is not precognition, Thal said, though his tone betrayed uncertainty. At least, not in any conventional sense. There must be a mechanism, Something buried in your genome that we have yet to uncover? He turned to Elnix. Begin a full genomic analysis. I want every base pair mapped and cross-referenced with known species. Understood, Doctor, the drone replied, its lens glowing as it began the task. Arya leaned back again, her earlier amusement fading. For the first time she looked genuinely concerned. Okay Doc, you're starting to freak me out. What's the worst-case scenario here? Thal hesitated, his tendrils curling inward in a rare display of uncertainty. The worst-case scenario, he said slowly, is that your body's anomalous behavior is the result of an external influence. Something beyond your biology. Arya frowned. You mean like, an alien parasite or something? Or something, Thal admitted. There are entities in this galaxy capable of manipulating organic matter in ways that defy comprehension. If your body has been altered by such an entity, it could have far-reaching implications, not just for you but for your entire species. Arya's expression hardened. You're saying I might be some kind of ticking time bomb? It is a possibility we must consider, Thal said grimly. Until we understand the source of these anomalies, we cannot rule out any hypothesis. As if on cue, the hollow console chimed again, drawing Thal's attention. The genomic analysis was progressing rapidly, and the initial results were already available. He scanned the data, his glowing organs pulsing with increasing intensity as he processed the information. What is it? Arya asked, her voice tense. Thal didn't answer immediately. Instead, he gestured to the display, magnifying a section of her genome. A series of glowing markers appeared, highlighting sequences that stood out from the rest. These sequences, Thal said, his voice tight with disbelief, are not human. Arya stared at him, her face pale. Come again? They are foreign, Thal continued, his tendrils trembling. Sequences that do not match any known Earth genome. And yet, they are seamlessly integrated into your DNA, as if they have been part of your genetic code all along. That's not possible, Arya said, though her voice lacked conviction. I mean, there's no way. Elnix interjected. Analysis suggests these sequences are responsible for the observed anomalies, including the enhanced energy production and immune response. However, their origin remains unidentified. Thal stepped back from the console, his bioluminescent organs dimming to a faint glow. Commander Dane, he said, his tone uncharacteristically serious, I must ask, has your species ever encountered extraterrestrial interference in its evolutionary history? Arya shook her head. Not that I know of. I mean, we only made first contact with the Coalition a few decades ago. Before that, we thought we were alone out here. Then the implications are even more troubling, Thal said. If these sequences have been in your genome for generations, it suggests a deliberate act of engineering, one that predates your species' awareness of extraterrestrial life. Arya stared at him, her mind racing. You're saying something, messed with our DNA a long time ago? It is the only explanation that fits the data, Thal replied. And whoever did this had knowledge far beyond anything your species, or even mine, is capable of. The room fell silent, the weight of the revelation settling over them like a thick fog. Arya felt a chill run down her spine. She had signed up for this examination expecting little more than a lecture on how humans were the galaxy's biological underdogs. Now she was being told that her very existence might be the result of some ancient, unknowable experiment. Doctor, Elnix said, breaking the silence, the genomic analysis is complete. Would you like to review the full report? Thal nodded, though his usual confidence was absent. Yes. Display it. As the hollow console projected the results, Thal and Elnix analyzed them in silence. Arya watched, her nerves stretched taut. Finally Thal spoke, his voice barely audible. These sequences, he said, are not just foreign. They are active. Arya's heart sank. Active? What does that mean? It means, Thal said, his glowing organs pulsing faintly, that whatever engineered your genome left behind a trigger. And something recent, has activated it. The silence in the medical bay was heavy, broken only by the soft hum of machinery and the faint clicks of Elnix processing data. Arya sat frozen on the examination table, her mind spinning as she tried to process Dr. Thal's words. Activated, she said finally, her voice steady but low. Activated by what, exactly? Thal's tendrils coiled in agitation, his glowing organs flickering unevenly, a Vrenthal equivalent of pacing. That, he said, is what I intend to find out. If these sequences have only recently become active, then something in your environment, physiology, or circumstances must have triggered them. A catalyst of some kind. Elnix chimed in. Doctor, cross-referencing the commander's most recent activities might provide insight. Perhaps her exposure to interstellar environments or foreign pathogens aboard this cruiser is relevant. Arya frowned. If this is something buried in my DNA, wouldn't it have shown up before? I've been through dozens of medical scans in the space fleet. Nothing like this has ever come up. Thal gestured toward the holographic display, which now showed an intricate map of her genome. It is possible those scans lacked the sophistication to detect these sequences. Even the technology aboard this ship struggled to isolate them. They are extraordinarily well concealed, almost as if designed to evade detection. Arya folded her arms, a nervous edge creeping into her tone. You're saying whoever did this didn't want us to find it? Precisely, Thal said. The sequences are dormant under normal conditions. They only activate under specific circumstances. Whatever entity engineered this intended it to remain hidden until the proper moment. And now it's not hidden anymore, Arya muttered. Elnix projected a smaller display, showing a timeline of cellular activity over the past 48 hours. Doctor, it said, anomalous energy fluctuations began approximately 39 hours ago. This corresponds to the commander's arrival aboard the Strathos. Thal's bioluminescent organs flared. Of course, the Coalition's advanced medical fields and environmental systems. Something aboard this ship may have triggered the activation. Wait, Arya interrupted, holding up a hand. You're saying your tech might have set this off? Great. That's just perfect. We did not anticipate this outcome, Thal snapped, clearly unsettled. The Coalition's medical fields are designed to optimize cellular health, not activate dormant genetic anomalies. But it does suggest that the catalyst is technological in nature. Arya ran a hand through her hair, exhaling sharply. So what now? Do we figure out how to turn it off, or are we stuck playing the guessing game? Thal hesitated, his tendrils curling inward. Turning it off is not an option. The sequences are fully integrated into your cellular processes. Attempting to deactivate them could result in catastrophic damage. Awesome, Arya said dryly. So I'm just stuck with whatever this is? Not necessarily, Elnix interjected. Further analysis of the active sequences may provide insight into their purpose and potential effects. It is also possible the activation was not accidental but part of a designed sequence of events. Arya's gaze sharpened. You're saying this might have been deliberate? Someone or something wanted this to happen now? That is one possibility, Thal admitted reluctantly. But without understanding the purpose of these modifications, I cannot say for certain. What I do know is that your biology is rapidly changing. If we do not understand these changes soon, the consequences could be unpredictable. Arya slid off the examination table, her boots clanking against the metallic floor. Well, sitting around talking about it isn't going to help. What's next, Doc? Thal glanced at Elnix, then back at Arya. We need to monitor the changes in real time. Your body is in flux, and if we can determine the direction of these changes, it might give us a clue about their purpose. I must also expand the scope of our investigation, specifically to identify whether other humans display similar anomalies. Arya blinked. You think this isn't just me? It would be illogical to assume otherwise, Thal said. If these sequences are present in your genome, they may also exist in others of your species. The difference is that yours have been activated. The question is why. Arya felt a cold knot form in her stomach. What if I'm the only one? Thal regarded her silently for a moment before answering. If you are unique, Commander Dane, then the implications are even more troubling. It would suggest that you were targeted specifically. That whoever engineered these modifications did so with a purpose in mind. One centered on you. Targeted, Arya repeated, her voice flat. By who? Or what? I cannot answer that yet, Thal admitted. But I intend to find out. Before Arya could respond, the room's lighting shifted to a pulsing red, accompanied by a sharp alarm. Elnix hovered higher, its lens whirring as it accessed the ship's systems. Alert, it said. Energy fluctuations detected in the medical bay. Origin, Commander Dane. What? Arya exclaimed, stepping back. Thal spun toward the console, his tendrils twitching wildly. The holodisplay now showed a three-dimensional model of Arya's body, overlaid with a growing field of radiant energy centered in her chest. Commander, Thal said urgently, remain still. Your body is emitting a form of energy I have never encountered before. Arya's chest felt warm, almost uncomfortably so, and her heartbeat began to race. What's happening to me? She demanded, her voice rising. Thal worked furiously at the console, his movements quick and precise. The activated sequences are catalyzing a reaction. Your cells are producing energy at an exponential rate, far beyond normal thresholds. Is that bad? Arya asked, her voice strained. It is unprecedented, Thal said, clearly struggling to remain composed. Your body appears to be stabilizing the energy, but if it continues to build... Before he could finish, a burst of light erupted from Arya's body, illuminating the room in a blinding flash. Thal shielded his eyes, his translucent skin glowing faintly as it absorbed the energy. Elnix emitted a series of rapid, high-pitched tones as it attempted to recalibrate its sensors. When the light faded, Arya was still standing, though she looked visibly shaken. Her skin seemed to glow faintly, as if the energy had become part of her. What the hell was that? She asked, her voice trembling. Thal stared at her, his tendrils frozen in shock. Commander Dane, he said slowly, your body just emitted a form of energy that does not exist in any known spectrum. Whatever this is, it is not natural. Arya took a shaky step forward, her hands clenched into fists. So what does that make me, Doc? Still human or something else? Thal didn't answer. For the first time in his long career, he was truly at a loss. The medical bay lay silent after the blinding burst of energy, save for the faint hum of machinery recalibrating. Arya stood in the center, her faintly glowing skin casting a soft halo of light onto the metallic walls. Her breaths were shallow and her hands trembled, though whether it was from fear or adrenaline, she couldn't say. Thal was the first to break the silence, his voice a mix of awe and terror. Commander Dane, he said slowly, you've become a living energy conduit. This defies every known law of biology and physics. Arya held up her hands, watching the faint shimmer that danced across her fingertips. It doesn't feel bad, she said, her voice wary. It feels powerful. That, Thal said gravely, is precisely what concerns me. Elnix interrupted, its lens flickering erratically. Doctor, I have completed an analysis of the energy emission. It appears to have a structured frequency, almost as if it is carrying encoded information. Information. Arya echoed, her brow furrowing. Explain, Thal demanded, his tendrils coiling tighter. The energy is not random, Elnix replied. It exhibits a repeating pattern similar to a signal. I am attempting to decode it now. Thal turned to Arya, his glowing organs dimming to a muted hue. If this energy is carrying a signal, then it may be a form of communication. A message intended to be sent, or received. Arya stiffened. You think my body's broadcasting something? It is a possibility, Thal said. Or worse, it may be responding to a signal you are not consciously aware of. Before Arya could reply, the ship's intercom crackled to life. Captain Scylla's voice, tense and urgent, filled the room. Medical Bay, report immediately. We've detected an energy surge originating from your location. It's interfering with ship systems. Thal moved to the console, his hands flying across the controls. Captain, the surge originated from Commander Dane. We are containing the situation. You better, Scylla snapped. Whatever it is, it's affecting navigation and long-range sensors. We've lost contact with Coalition Command, and the energy signature is spreading into subspace. Fix it? The intercom cut out, leaving the room in tense silence. Subspace? Arya asked, her voice growing more alarmed. Thal's bioluminescent organs flared brighter. If this energy is propagating into subspace, it could have galactic ramifications. We need to identify its purpose immediately. Doctor, Elnix interrupted, I have completed decoding the signal. It appears to be a set of coordinates. The room went still. Coordinates? Thal repeated. Yes, Elnix confirmed. A location deep within uncharted space. The signal is highly precise, suggesting it was designed to lead someone, or something, there. Arya stepped forward, her expression a mix of confusion and determination. So this whole thing, this activation, the energy, my DNA, was a setup? Someone planted this in me so I could, what? Lead them to this place? It would appear so, Thal said. And whoever orchestrated this did so with knowledge far beyond anything we understand. This is not random chance, Commander Dane. You are part of a deliberate design. Arya clenched her fists, her glowing skin pulsing faintly in rhythm with her heartbeat. Well, if they wanted me to lead them somewhere, they should have asked. I'm not anyone's puppet. Thal tilted his head, his tendrils relaxing slightly. Your defiance is admirable, but the fact remains. You are transmitting this signal. Whether you choose to act on it or not, the signal is already out there. Others may be listening. Arya took a deep breath, steadying herself. Then we don't have much time. Let's follow the signal and figure out what's waiting at the other end. Thal's tendrils flared in shock. That is an extraordinarily reckless decision. You have no idea what lies at these coordinates. It could be a trap or worse. Or it could be answers, Arya shot back. Look, I didn't ask for any of this. But if someone's been messing with me, messing with my species, I want to know why. Sitting around running tests isn't going to get us there. Thal hesitated, his glowing organs pulsing faintly as he weighed the risks. Finally he nodded. Very well. But if we are to pursue this course, we must do so carefully. I will begin preparations to isolate the energy signature and mask it from detection as best I can. Elnix, Arya said, turning to the drone, plot a course to those coordinates. And keep it off the official logs. If anyone's tracking us, I don't want to make it easy for them. Understood, Commander, Elnix replied. Thal watched her for a moment, his expression unreadable. You are remarkably calm for someone whose entire existence has just been upended. Arya managed a wry smile. Calm's not the right word, document. I'm just really good at hiding how freaked out I am. But if someone out there thinks they can use me like a pawn, they've got another thing coming. Thal inclined his head slightly, a gesture of respect. Then let us hope you are prepared for what awaits. Whoever orchestrated this went to great lengths to ensure it could not be stopped. Good, Arya said, her voice steady. Because neither can I. 2 days later, the Strathos emerged from hyperspace at the edge of uncharted space. The region was eerily quiet, devoid of the usual cosmic noise. Ahead, the coordinates led to a massive construct, a black monolith suspended in the void. Its surface was smooth and featureless, yet it exuded a faint, pulsing glow that matched the energy radiating from Arya. The crew stared in stunned silence as the construct loomed larger on the main display. What the hell is that? Arya muttered, her voice barely audible. Thal's tendrils trembled. I do not know, he said, his voice hollow. But one thing is certain, it was waiting for you. The moment the ship approached, Arya's body reacted. The faint glow on her skin intensified, resonating with the monolith. Her chest felt heavy, as if some invisible force was pulling her toward the construct. Doctor, Elnix said, the monolith is responding to the commander's energy signature. It is activating. Arya's heart pounded as the monolith began to shift, its smooth surface parting to reveal a glowing interior. Whatever lay inside was impossible to see, but it radiated a sense of vast, incomprehensible power. Thal stepped back, his glowing organs dimming. Commander Dane, he said quietly, I believe this is the moment you were designed for. The question is whether you are ready to face it. Arya took a deep breath, her gaze locked on the monolith. Ready or not, she said, her voice steady, I guess we're about to find out. With that, she stepped forward, the light of the monolith enveloping her as the ship's crew watched in stunned silence. And so, the mystery of Arya Dane's altered DNA and the ancient monolith would begin to unfold. A story written not just in her biology, but in the stars themselves. Whatever waited beyond that glowing portal would change everything, not just for her, but for humanity and the galaxy at large. The question was, would she survive to tell the tale? The end.